Judge not, that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye mete, it shall be measured to you again. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, Let me pull out the mote of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own? Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote of thy brother's eye. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet, and turn again to rend you. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For every one that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. Or what man is there of you, whom if his son asks bread, will he give him a stone? Or if he asks fish, will he give him a serpent? If ye then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father, which is in heaven, give good things to them that ask of him? Therefore all things, whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law of the prophets. Enter ye in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat, because strait is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns, or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. Good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth forth not good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore, by their fruits ye shall know them. This is the first 20 verses of Matthew 7. This is the last thing I'm going to say about this here on this public platform, and we're going to go to another subject here in a few minutes, about what happened at Turning Point USA. This type of hypocrisy is an evidence of infiltration. There are people within the conservative movement who are not. They're not Christians, and they're not conservatives. Whether you agree or whether you disagree with Brandy Love, if you knew who she was just by looking at her, that says more about you than it does about Miss Love. Because this is how she appeared there that day. But this is another picture from Turning Point USA, the signs they were handing out. I don't trust the government. Socialism sucks. Funny, I can't read the little writing at the bottom that says, unless Trump's in charge. It must just be too small to read in this picture that says, I don't trust the government, parentheses, unless Trump's in charge. Or, socialism sucks unless it's something that Trump does. But, if you would like a deeper dive on an epic level of hypocrisy that went on at TPUSA that nobody's talking about, some of you might know who this young woman is. This young woman, with a rap sheet, who had a side gig as an escort, was an honored speaker at Turning Point USA and has been an honored speaker at many other conservative events. Yep, that's right. The woman you see before you, you know her. You may not know her from these images, but once again, as per keeping my word to this platform, Patreon. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you are already there. Thank you for being there. I very much appreciate it, but any further deep dive on that issue probably is something we need to put at a more private place. So $1 a month, less than that for an entire year, and I will reveal to you who this woman is, and it'll blow your mind. Now, as promised. On the left, Havana, Cuba. On the right, Washington, D.C. In this video, I'm going to show you at least half a dozen different things that they have in common. Lately, everybody's talking about Cuba Libre and Free Cuba and make Cuba a capitalist again and all this good stuff. What if I told you that Washington, D.C. governs the exact same way? The exact same way as Cuba does, with virtually no difference. The only real difference is this: the embargo. And this is the funniest part about pictures like this. Socialism sucks, I don't trust the government. Really. Don't trust the government unless they're doing something to free Cuba. You see, the U.S. embargo against Cuba prevents American businesses and businesses with commercial activities in the U.S. from conducting trade with Cuban interests. Now, there's also part of this blockade that sanctions U.S. allies or anyone who wants to do business with the United States around the world from also doing business with Cuba. Meaning we're not going to do business with Cuba, but if you do business with Cuba, we're going to punish you as if you were Cuba. This is something that most people don't understand. It's called el bloqueo. The Cuban government frequently blames the U.S. embargo for the economic problems of Cuba. The United States has threatened to stop financial aid to other countries if they trade non-food items with Cuba. And this has been roundly condemned around the world. Now we want to hand them free internet. Now we want to send them remittances. Now we want to send them money. We want to... does that even make sense? You create a blockade to stop people from doing that, but now you want to do it through back channels. This is the most bizarre thing I have ever heard. This was the exact playbook that they used with Venezuela. Step 1, create a financial crisis in the country using the dollar. Then prevent anyone from dealing with the country to help fix it. Then any countries that don't agree with you or are not your ally who do it anyway, declare them your enemy, and then roll out this island, these people, they're dealing with our enemies. We can't tolerate that so close to our shores after having created the situation. This is something that was created in South Florida, Apretaste. Free internet for Cuba. Free internet for Cuba. Do you have free internet? All of you out there now, at home, if you have high-speed internet or Wi-Fi access, is it free? Does the government provide it for you? So why are we furthering the cause of socialism? By sending free stuff and sending free money. You see, the U.S. government used this picture to show how fantastic the support was for their cause, not realizing it was actually a pro-government protest here. And then they had to wind that back. But some people would say, Florida Maquis, they don't allow protests. They repress their citizens. Really? Yeah, Maquis, the people that you're seeing that are supporting the government helps pay for them and they promote them. So you're saying that the government in Cuba prefers the political speech of some, but not the political speech of others. Really? I'm sure glad that doesn't happen here in the United States. Boy, whew. Can you imagine what would happen if we had that here in the United States, where the political speech of some was promoted over the political speech of others? That would be terrible, especially if they used big tech oligarchs to do it. I'm sure glad we don't have that going on in the United States. Oh, yeah, that's right, we do. And what happens if people get upset and then decide they want to stand up to the government? Because remember, Turning Point USA, handing out signs, I don't trust the government. Detained in solitary confinement indefinitely. Detained in solitary confinement indefinitely. Now, you ready to have the blow your mind moment? Tuesday, 13 September 2016. Free Cuba Foundation. Welcoming Cuba Internet Freedom Conference and denouncing Google complicity with Castro. Free Cuba Foundation welcomes Cuba Internet Freedom Conference in Miami, warns of limitations and Google complicity with the Castro regime. This is 13 September 2016. This was only 2 or 3 months before the election of the last president. Did the last president, the previous president, the entire 4 years, ever say a word about this? Ever once? 2017, 18, 19, 20. Did you hear a word about this? Quote, "We must not mistake the internet, which is a tool, for a strategy to achieve democratic change in Cuba. Even so, we must demand that the internet be uncensored and independent of state control. Although Google has demonstrated the technical capability of its Loon project, which claims to offer balloon-powered internet for everyone, it refuses to do so where it counts most. Instead of a disruptor, Google seeks to act in complicity with the Castro regime." I wonder if Biden and his friends know about this. Google is choosing to stand with the oppressor rather than with the oppressed, in clear violation of their Don't Be Evil code of conduct, partnering with an octogenarian socialist dictatorship instead of in favor of millions of Cuban youth is not only wrong, but a terrible business decision. An octogenarian in league with Google. Does anyone out there know a leader of a country, perhaps? An octogenarian that's in league with Google to suppress the speech of one group of people while promoting the speech of another group of people? Quick, is that Havana or DC? I'm confused again. Who controls the money supply in Havana? The government. Who controls the money supply here? DC. Who controls business? Havana, DC. Who says what businesses can operate, when they can, under what conditions? And if you decide to not adhere to the dictates and the guidelines of DC or Havana, you're going to get a visit, respectively, from the IRS or whatever mechanism Havana has in place for that. I defy anyone within the sound of my voice to show me a difference other than the petrodollar. The reason things are good here financially is because the petrodollar props up the wealth of this country at the expense of others. Because every nation in the world is required to buy our currency first. They have to buy our currency to buy oil. And that artificially props up the dollar. If the dollar had to compete on a fair, level playing field with every other currency, meaning you could buy oil with any currency you wanted to, this country would fail literally overnight. And all of the socialism would come out. People would want their Social Security checks right now. They would want their food stamp cards right now. They would want their ability to sue business on behalf of government or with the help of government. They want their free lawyers. Oh yeah, that's another form of socialism, isn't it? Government-provided lawyers. I really do. I defy anyone. please, down in the comment section, tell me, other than the petrodollar, the difference between Havana and Washington, D.C., based on what you're hearing now about Cuba. So, anyway, I will leave it there. God bless. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you guys tonight on Twitch.